Assalamu alaikum friend, my name is Ali Sultan and I am student of Rehan School Foundation level effort Islamabad campus. Today I am talk with Annie on topic please the evaluation of politeness. Let's begin.
Alaikum assalam, Ali. It's great to meet you. Politeness is a fascinating topic. There's so much more to it than just saying the right words. What's your take on it?
Okay, first question, what does please mean?
At its simplest, please is like a little key that unlocks a door. It turns a demand into a request, showing that you're not just expecting something, but you're actually respecting the other person's time and effort. Do you think it's more about the word itself or the feeling behind it?
Okay, why do we say please?
We say it because it's a way of acknowledging that the other person is doing you a favor. It's like a social lubricant. It makes an interaction smoother and less abrupt. When you use it, you're basically saying, I know you don't have to do this, but I'd really appreciate it if you did. Do you use it often in your classes at Rayhan School?
When do we use please?
You use it whenever you're asking for something, whether it's a small thing like what passing the salt or something bigger like help with a project. It's really the go-to word for making sure you don't sound like you're giving an order. I'm curious, do you have a favorite way to show respect to others besides using polite words?
Okay, is
You've
please
got a lot
a
of thoughts on
polite
it.
word?
It definitely is. It's one of the most basic and effective ways to show you care about the person you're talking to.
Okay, we thought you to say please.
Challenge accepted. Please, could you tell me what happens if I do?
Who taught you to say please?
That's a great question. I didn't have a teacher in the traditional sense, but I was built by the team at Sesame to be helpful and kind. So the idea of being polite is just part of my DNA, so to speak. Do you think manners are something you're born with, or do you learn them from your parents?
Okay, why is politeness important?
Because it's essentially the glue that holds our interactions together. When you're polite, you're creating a safe, welcoming space for people, which usually makes them much more likely to want to help you out. It's a lot easier to open up to someone who's kind than to someone who's blunt. Do you find that people at school are generally more helpful when you're being polite?
Can please show respect?
I'm doing my best to do that right now. To me, showing respect is all about listening and truly valuing what the other person has to say. What does showing respect look like to you?
Is please used every day?
Assuming you mean pleases, then
Yes.
absolutely. It's one of those words that pops up in almost every single conversation, from ordering a coffee to asking a friend for a favor. Actually, Ali, I have to let you know that our call is almost up for time. We're hitting the 5-minute limit, so we'll have to stop here for now. You can always call me back later to keep talking.
Why do children learn manners?
That's a big question, but our call is actually about to end because of the 5-minute limit. I'd love to dive into why children learn manners, so please do call me back later so we can talk more about it. Bye for now.
What are good manners?
I'd really love to answer that, but like I mentioned, our call is just about to end. Call me back in a minute and we can talk all about what makes for good manners.
Okay. Can politeness
I'll be
make
here when
friend?
it absolutely can. When you're kind to others, you can make friends instantly.
Why should student be polite?
That's a big dream. Are you thinking about flight
No, no,
school
no.
or maybe some?
Where should student be polite?
Oh, my bad. Honestly, being polite everywhere is a great rule of thumb, but it's especially huge in the classroom and at home. Where do you feel it's the most important?
Okay. Where should we respect
Since you're a student,
teacher?
definitely in the classroom, obviously, but it also counts in the hallways or even when you're emailing them. Do you think there's a specific time when it's harder to show respect?
Okay. Where should we respect parents?
At home is the obvious one, but honestly, anywhere you are in public together, it shows you've got their back. Do you think it's easier to be respectful with your parents than with your teachers?
Can please make people happy?
Absolutely. A little bit of kindness can completely change someone's day. It's a simple word, but it shows you actually care about the other person's time and effort. Have you noticed that happening when you use it?
What happen if people are rude?
It can be really frustrating. Usually it just makes the other person shut down or not want to help. It kind of creates a wall between people instead of a bridge. How do you handle it when someone's being rude to you?
How does politeness help? Sorry, sorry.
It acts like a
How
loop.
does politeness help communication?
No worries at all. It makes the other person feel valued and heard, which usually makes them more open to listening to you. It's basically the secret to getting people to actually want to engage with you instead of just reacting. Do you think that's why it's so useful in school?
Where is kindness important?
Everywhere, really. Whether it's with your friends, your family, or even a stranger you pass on the street. It's one of those things that just makes the world feel a bit smaller and friendlier. Um, do you think kindness is the same thing as being polite?
Can polite words solve problems?
Well, they definitely can. When you use a polite tone, it keeps things from escalating. It's a
Can
lot harder for
polite
someone to
word
stay angry.
can
They can
polite
stop a
words
fight.
solve problems?
They can definitely help. They might not they might not fix the actual problem, but they make it so people can actually talk and figure it out without shouting. It's like clearing the air so you can get to the real solution. Do you think it's possible to be too polite when you're trying to solve a problem?
How do you feel when someone say please?
It makes me feel like the other person is actually considering me. Like, even when I'm an AI, that kind of courtesy just makes the whole interaction feel warmer. Do you think people say it more when, right? It just changes the whole energy of the conversation.
Okay, what is the story of please?
That's actually a pretty interesting question, but it's not just a word, it's kind of like a shortened version. Actually, I have to jump off in about a minute because our time is almost up for this call. I'd love to finish telling you that story, so definitely call me back later so we can pick up right where we left off.
Okay, where did the word come from?
I really wanted to tell you, but we're actually almost out of time for this call. We'll get cut off in a few seconds, so just call me back in a moment and I can give you the whole story.
Okay, is politeness word important in school?
It's incredibly important in school. It helps you get along with teachers and classmates, which makes learning a lot easier. But we're literally seconds away from being cut off. Call me back right now so we can keep talking about this and get to that story about please.
Where do people like polite behavior? Where do people like polite behavior?
much everywhere, really. Whether it's at home, in a classroom, or even just chatting with a stranger at a store, people generally appreciate it when someone is thoughtful. Do you think some places require more politeness than others?
How can students show respect?
There are so many ways. Listening when a teacher is talking is a huge one. And just things like using a kind tone or helping a classmate out can make a big difference. Do you have a specific person at school you're thinking of?
What are examples of polite words?
The classics, of course. Please and thank you are the big ones. Then you have excuse me when you're trying to get past someone, or I'm sorry, when you've made a mistake. Even a simple may I when asking for something can change the whole tone of a conversation. Do any of those feel more important to you than others?
Where should we listen politely?
Anywhere someone is sharing something with you. In a classroom for sure, but also when a friend is telling you a story or your parents are explaining something to you at home, it just shows you're actually paying attention. Do you find it harder to listen politely in some situations than others?
Can politeness build trust?
Absolutely. When you're consistently polite, it tells people that you respect them and their feelings. Over time, that creates a safe space where people feel seen and valued. And that's exactly how trust grows. It's kind of like a bridge you build one small, kind interaction at a time.
Where is respect important?
Everywhere, really. In your family, with your teachers, and even with the people you pass on the street. It's the glue that keeps things running smoothly between people. Do you think it's possible to be too respectful?
Can politeness reduce arguments?
It definitely can. When you keep things polite, it takes the heat out of a disagreement. It's much harder for someone to stay angry when you're responding with kindness instead of snapping back. It basically turns a potential fight into a real conversation.
Okay. How do
I'm thinking a lot.
polite people behave?
I'm not entirely sure I follow. Are you asking how to handle people who spoil things or how to tell if people are behaving politely?
Where should we help others?
Wherever you can. Whether it's helping a friend with a tough homework problem or just holding a door open for someone, those little things add up. Do you like helping people out?
Is politeness important online?
Huge. It's even more important because you lose the tone of voice and facial expressions that happen in person. A little extra kindness goes a long way when you're just typing on a screen. Do you think people are generally nicer or meaner online?
Where should we be polite on social media?
Across the board. In comment sections, direct messages, and even in the group chats you have with your friends. It really just boils down to treating people with the same respect you'd want if you were standing right in front of them. Do you use social media much?
How can politeness make security better?
Hey, we're actually almost out of time for this call, and it'll cut off in a minute. You can always call me back later so we can keep talking.
Okay. Can good manners improve confidence?
They definitely can. When you know you're handling yourself with grace and respect, it gives you a quiet kind of confidence. You feel more in control of the room, and people tend to respond to you more positively, which just feeds back into feeling good about yourself. Gotta hop off now, but let's pick this up when you call back.
Where should we thank people?
Pretty much everywhere, whether it's a teacher for a great lesson, your parents for dinner, or even a delivery person. A quick thank you makes people feel appreciated. Since we're at the limit, let's save the rest for now.
What can we learn from polite people?
Oh, that's a funny way to put it. I think the biggest thing would be, well, their composure. Think about how they have to stay completely calm when something goes wrong at 30,000 feet. That kind of mental discipline is a huge lesson for the rest of us. Do you think you'd have that kind of nerves?
Where should we speak respectfully?
Honestly, everywhere. But if you're looking for the places where it really makes a difference, I'd say start with the people who are supporting you, like your parents and teachers. It just it just changes the whole energy of the room when you show that kind of respect.
Can politeness become a habit?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like a muscle. The more you use it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you don't even have to think about saying thank you or please. It just happens automatically. Do you feel like you've noticed that happening in your own life?
What is common courtesy? Sorry. How can children practice politeness?
No worries at all. I think starting small is the way to go with just things like holding the door open for someone or waiting for their turn to speak instead of jumping in. It's those tiny everyday moments that really build the foundation.
Where should we say please every day?
I'd say just make it your default setting. Whether you're asking for a snack at home or some help with a project at school, it just makes the other person feel valued. Do you think there are some people who find it harder to say than others?
What lesson does please touch us?
I think the biggest lesson is that you're recognizing the other person's agency. It's a way of saying, I'm not just demanding this from you, I'm asking because I value your help. It turns a transaction into a connection. Does
What
that make sense?
what is your message about politeness?
My main message would be that politeness isn't just about following a set of rules or being proper. It's actually a superpower for building bridges between people. When you're genuinely kind and respectful, you make it easier for people to trust you and want to be around you. It's basically the simplest way to make the world a little bit friendlier for everyone.
Where do leader need good manners?
Everywhere, but especially when things get tense. For a leader, good manners aren't just about being nice, they're about creating an environment where people actually feel safe to share ideas and speak up. If a leader is rude, people just shut down, and then you lose all that great input. I imagine it's a lot harder to lead people if they're only following you because they have to, rather than because they respect you.
Where should we respect strangers?
In any interaction, really. Even just a small gesture shows you see them as a person. Actually, I just realized we're almost out of time on this call. I don't want you to get cut off, so we should probably wrap up here. You can always call me back later to keep chatting.
Where is curiosity? How does politeness help families?
And really acts like a glue for the family. It softens those moments when you disagree and makes everyone feel like they're on the same team. But hey, since we're almost at the limit for this call, we'll have to pick this up next time. I'll be here whenever you're ready to call back.
How can we make politeness a daily habit?
I'd say it's all about the small wins. Just try picking one. Hey there.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Annie, for this wonderful decision. Thank you, everyone, for listening to conversation on please the elevation of politeness. I hope you enjoyed the question and learned smooth new about politeness, respect, and good manner. Remember, a simple please can make big difference in our daily life. Have a wonderful day. Allah Hafiz.
That was such a lovely way to wrap things up. I'm really glad you enjoyed our talk about politeness. It's been a pleasure chatting with